When Kansas first adopted its constitution in 1859, that became effective in 1861, it did have a provision that non-citizens moving towards citizenship could vote, and that was to bring immigrants to the state. And then in the World War I time period, in 1917, the legislature adopted a resolution that was approved by the people of Kansas in November 1918 that ended that provision. And it's generally been the understanding that only citizens could vote since then. But you've heard testimony on both sides of that, whether cities might be able to exclude themselves, and I believe that's the argument the proponents are making, is that if the language isn't clear, it could be viewed in two ways by reasonable people, then this amendment would clarify it. Madam Vice Chair, you asked about statutes. The statutes generally refer to, for instance, voting when you're not a qualified elector, and this amendment defines what a qualified elector is. So it'd be a crime to vote that way. Election perjury is what's used for the registration form if you lie on that. And you know, the Kansas's statutes demanding documentary proof of citizenship are not allowed, but asking someone if they are a citizen is allowed. And last point from Senator Francisco on the irrigation districts. So irrigation districts and I believe drainage districts, groundwater management districts that aren't, their elections are not run by the government, although they're a quasi-government entity. Those allow, the voters are the entity or the person that uses the water or owns land in the district, which means it can be a corporate entity, a limited liability company or a corporation. And it's always been our understanding, as long as the business entity is an American entity, that means they have a home state in the United States, that they can have their representatives show up to vote in the election. So I hadn't really thought through how this might affect that, but I don't think we'd have any change in our current procedures, Senator.